Welcome to Body Mansion. I am the butler, did it. 1 to 5 murders will be committed here this weekend, and it's up to you to solve them. 10 suspects are in the mansion. Some will be murderers, some will be victims. I am never a victim or murderer. You have just witnessed the introduction. If you already know how to play, then get on with it. If you've never played before, I've prepared a special introductory game based on the action you've just seen. The object of the game is to discover who are the murderers and victims, the room in which each murder took place, and which weapon was used. First thing, make sure everyone takes a sheet from the detective notepad. This fact sheet will help you keep track of what you learn about the suspects, rooms, and weapons. Just for this introductory game, let's forget about the part on the left that says players. That's an exciting part of the game, but I'll explain that later. Now we look up the details in the casebook. We're going to play game 1. Let's see. 3 murders. Busy, busy. That's 3 victims, 3 different murderers, 3 rooms, and 3 weapons. That means to solve this case, you must complete the first 3 lines of this accusation. And to do that, you have to play the cards. There are 3 kinds of cards: the colorful clue cards, the gray investigation cards, and the black suspect cards. For this game, we'll use only the blue clue cards and the investigation cards. Put all the other cards away. I'll explain them later. Shuffle the investigation and clue cards together and deal out 5 to each player. Stop the tape until you finish dealing. The clue cards show facts numbered 1 to 6, each pertaining to a different mystery game. We are playing game 1, so only the fact numbered 1 on your clue cards will count for this game. At the end of each fact is a scene number to which it refers. All the facts in game 1 refer to the introduction. Now, if you remember what you've just seen, you can start to solve the mystery right now. Your fact sheet will help. Grab a pencil and we'll do it together. I have a fact that says the woman who wore the red dress committed murder with the knife. That was Miss Scarlett. She's a murderer, and her weapon was the knife. Now mark all that down on your fact sheet. Now let's try another. The weapon held by Mrs. Peacock was used to commit murder in the kitchen. Now, Mrs. Peacock held the knife, so that means the knife was used in the kitchen. I can note that by connecting them. But if I know that Miss Scarlett used the knife and the knife was used in the kitchen, Scarlett committed murder in the kitchen. I can enter that right here on the accusation. Now, who was it she bumped off? Another fact. The man who smoked a cigar died in the room with brown tile floor. Green smoked a cigar, so he's a victim. But brown tile? I'll make a note till it comes to me. Of course, the kitchen. Green died in the kitchen. That makes him Scarlett's victim, and we've solved one of the 3 murders in this game. Are you grasping the idea? Clue cards give you information. You want to keep them secret if you can. Investigation cards give you opportunities. Most investigation cards give you a choice of things to do. On some cards, there's something about personal identity facts. Ignore that just for now. Pick one of the other options instead. You might get to steal a clue card, any one you want, from an opponent's hand. Or you might ask someone to give you a clue card, one that he or she selects. You might ask another player to read a fact aloud, or you might be forced to read one yourself. When you do read a fact aloud, state the scene to which it refers. Clue cards that are read aloud become public evidence and are taken out of the game. Keep them in the top of your game box. Anyone may look at them at any time. Investigation cards must be read, played, and then put face up in the discard pile. Some investigation cards let you bury clue cards from your hand by placing them in the discard pile with your investigation card over them. That's a good way to keep juicy facts secret for a while. You also get the chance to replay a scene. In this game, there's only one scene, the introduction. But in the real games, there are 5 scenes full of information you might want to review. The game starts with the player on my left. If you have an investigation card, you must play it. If you're holding more than one, decide which you'll play first and which you'll hold to your next turn. If you don't have any investigation cards, then pick a new card from the stack. If it's an investigation card, play it right away. If it's a clue card, keep it and let the next player go. The only time you pick a card is when it's your turn to play and you have no investigation cards. When all the cards in the stack are gone, shuffle the discard pile and place it face down to make a new stack. When you think you've solved the mystery, wait till your next turn, then announce that you're ready to make an accusation. Use this special red filter to reveal the solution in the casebook. Now, if you're right, announce your findings and dazzle us all. If you're wrong, you're out of the game. Return your cards to the discard pile and be a good loser. After you've proved your brilliance in Game 1, return to this spot in the tape, and I'll fill you in on the suspect cards and your personal identities. Now, there are still 2 murderers on the loose. Player on my left, if you have an investigation card, use it. If you don't, pick a card from the pile. Now, stop the tape. It's time to play. Now you're ready to play a full game. Select a game from the casebook. You'll need the investigation and suspect cards and the clue cards that match the chapter you're playing. If this is your first full game, I would recommend playing Game 2 on the blue cards. The low-number games are easier than the high numbers. To play a real game, each of you will be one of the suspects. And to win the game, you must determine not only who done it, but who's who. Everyone pick a suspect card. Look at it and put it aside where no one will see it. Now write the names of the other players in the columns on your fact sheet. Then write your name next to your suspect. That's your personal identity for the game. The others will try to learn who you are from information that you supply. As you watch the action, pay attention to your suspect. Whenever you're asked to reveal a fact about your identity, you must say something true based on your observation, like, I'm a female, or I wear glasses. There are a few important rules about personal identity facts in your casebook. I read this section aloud before beginning. Your fact sheet will help you keep track of information. If Joe tells me he's playing a female, I can eliminate all the male suspects under his name. If I learn that Patty is Miss Peach, I'll write her name here. And since no one else could be Peach, I'll eliminate her for all the other players. I can do the same for my own suspect. Any remaining suspect cards are shuffled in with the investigation and clue cards and are counted as facts. Now, if I pick a suspect from the deck, I know that none of the players represents that suspect. I can cross him or her off as a possibility for everyone. That means Joe is either Peacock or Rose. Now, if you are asked to read or give away a clue card, you can use a suspect card that you've picked up from the deck. And you can steal a suspect card the same way you steal clue cards. Not that one. The suspect cards make the game much more exciting, and the ending can be very suspenseful. I'll show you. You've watched all 5 scenes. You've continued playing your cards until you know the solution. So, write down the murderers, the victims, the rooms, and the weapons here on your fact sheet. Then look up the solution. If you're wrong, return your clue cards to the discard pile. But keep your suspect cards and stick around in case someone asks you for a personal identity fact. If you're right about the murders, the next step is to announce the other players' personal identities. Your opponents must confirm your identifications. If you're correct for everyone, then announce your solution to the mystery and win the game. If you get any of the identifications wrong, stop there. Regular play continues for one more suspense round. Any player who can, on this last round, solve the mystery and correctly identify all the other players steals the win away from you. If no one can do this, then you must be the best detective after all. On your next turn, complete the accusation and win the game. Well, that's all I have to say. Happy hunting, whoever you are.